Meeting to order. All rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We may be deviating from the provided in here. Okay, you make a motion to accept the minutes from July 22nd as written. All in favor? Okay, we have Jeffrey Wahlberg present. Parker Kids Charitable Association After School Program and the Century Community Learning Center Grant.
Yes.
The floor is yours, sir.
You want me to come up there? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Please.
Hello, everyone. So I just kind of want to, if you have any questions or anything, kind of talk to you about them, but I just wanted to explain kind of what PKA and PKCA are, the two separate entities, and then kind of talk about the grant that we got. So first, I want to let you know that, like, if you have any questions or anything, come to me. The school is not affiliated with PKCA, but we just use their group. So I do have my business cards you guys can contact me if there's any issues, any problems. So PKCA, I was, well, currently still am the chair / board president of PKCA. That is the nonprofit, so it's the Parker Kids Charitable Association. That's a nonprofit that runs PKA, which is the after school program. So PKCA is a nonprofit that's looking to obviously expand into more schools, and that brings in money and grants and things like that to kind of expand PKA and then possibly look into other things to do other than just PKA itself. Does that make sense? Okay. And then PKA is obviously the program that does the after school activities that is funded through the grants through PKCA. So PKCA kind of has their own board. So just kind of wanted to put that one out there. So if you have any issues with PKA, any good things to say, any concerns, come to me, not Jay or Emily, because they'll send it to me anyways, and then we'll have a discussion. So just come right to me. And again, I have my email address and my business card. You can call me at any time. You can email me, however you want to do it. So recently, we just got the 21st Century Communities CCLC grant. I applied for that back in January, and we were approved through Maine. I know there's some things going on with grants when it comes to the current administration. This is not going to be affected by that, so we did get an email from Maine letting us know that this is still going on. It is a grant, so next year it could be like, nope, no more. So it is supposed to be for 4 years, but we'll see. Hopefully it continues for 4 years. $135,000 for 4 years. So PKA will kind of run very similar. What this program is supposed to do for PKA is help students that are regular low performing students. So if you have a child that is not performing to the state standards, I'm not going to say poorly because those things are different. So they can come to our program and we'll have certified tutors that are through Brownfield, and Molly Rocket. They'll have tutoring sessions. They're not going to be separated from the group only for those tutoring sessions, but everyone can have those, not just the regular low performance. So our goal is to not be like, these kids are separate from the program. Everyone's included in that program, whether they are or not. We're going to have STEM activities to kind of enhance some of their learning and things like that. We have to have 45 of those throughout the year. And if you're worried about the cost, the grant does pay. If your student is a regular low performing student, the grant does pay for those students. So they will not they won't have to pay for tuition. So it's a free program for students that may need extra help after school. Obviously, getting them to Malliot is always a problem sometimes. The school is providing transportation, but you got to pick them up. They have to leave school, I believe, a little bit early. But I think the benefit outweighs that because they're going to have certain activities to help them. So that's kind of like the broad overview of what this grant is supposed to do. It is monitored by myself. I do have to report back to the state quarterly, looking at all those students to make sure their grades are going up, to make sure they meet certain criteria.
So what are the ages of the
So
students?
K through 4 are the ages for this specific grant. We would take 5th graders if needed, but K through 4 is specifically for this.
Is it during the summer as well as?
It's going to be, we have it this summer. My apologies, but we were told that we didn't have to. Now we were told last Monday that we did. So I'm trying to put something together, which we've done a great job. So it's all together. So this summer is going to have one. Next summer it's going to be, field more like the Freiburg rec program, field trips, things like that. But it will be during the summer and the same hours as it was last year for regular PK throughout the school year.
And what does PKA stand for?
Pocket Kids Association. So it's very similar. I would have named it something totally different, but it does get kind of confusing. But that's essentially what it is.
Okay, thank you.
What was that? How much did you say in funding you have per year?
$135,000. And I'm still looking for more grants to cover other costs, but the goal of this grant is to continue the program, so it does go down a certain percent every year. So they do want us to get donations. They want us to obviously still take on tuition for parents that maybe not have a regular low performing student but still want to go to the program. So it is meant to sustain this program for many, many years to come. As long as I'm doing it, I'm going to try my hardest.
How much does it cost per student for tuition?
For people that that aren't regular low performing. I'm hoping, off the top of my head, I can't 100% tell you because I want to decrease that cost because of the grant. But I believe it's somewhere in the currently like 125-ish a week. I don't know if anyone does a PK and has paid it before, but somewhere in there. The summer program is $35 a day. So I mean, for me, my kids are older. They're like 20 and 24, so I'm pretty sure daycare is probably more than that a day, I would imagine. There are scholarships available, even for kids that aren't necessarily regular low performing. So you would just have to contact me and I can give you that information. And we do get donations from businesses, things like that. My company donates to help kids that maybe can't afford the program but still want to come and aren't regularly performing.
I think I read that it does include like a lunch and snack too.
So this summer program covers breakfast, lunch, and snack. That's the breakfast and the lunch is provided by the school. They do it also, Raleigh does it, and I did not know this, throughout the summer. So that will be provided. We will provide a snack. You can bring your own food if you want. That will just be designated for snack and lunch times. We don't want everyone eating random times.
Which is a pretty good deal for money.
Right. Yes, definitely. This summer program, we have 31 students that are coming. We would like to grow that, obviously, but if anybody didn't sign up, please, it's closed now, but if anyone didn't sign up, please just contact me and I can see what we can do to add you to the summer program. The fall starting session, I believe, will start the Monday after Labor Day, and then that registration form, everything will go out around that time. Is there any questions you want? Hopefully
No,
that's
sir.
it.
And is this just for like MSAG 72 or does
Yes.
this go out to?
No, so this program is only for MSAD 72 schools.
And you're independent of the schools?
Hopefully soon. I am. Our summer people are, other than Penny. Penny is going to be one of the people running. I don't know if most people are probably familiar with Penny, maybe not. She's one of the PKA coordinators. She's been a PKA person for 17 years, I believe. So she will be through school this summer. The other one will be more like a contracted. Right now, the coordinators are employed by the school. We pay for them. So, and the answer to PKA and PKCA. So just, they pay the paychecks, that's it, at the end of the day. I'm hoping to transfer that eventually to, so they're employed by PKCA, because it gets kind of muddy at times when it comes to that. The school has been generous enough to do that while the program was limping along for the past few years before I kind of took most of this over. But eventually I would like it to not be employed by the school.
So PKCA and PKA are two different groups.
Yes, yes and yes and no, but yes. PKCA is the nonprofit that funds PKA. So they give all the money. So PKCA created PKA to have this after school program.
You have a website or?
I'm creating one, not right now. You have a Facebook page. It's just the Quabbin Kids Charitable Association. If you type that in, it'll be one of the ones that pop up. It's got a white logo with a kid on it, and stars and stuff like that. I am trying to create one now because it's just easier to have all the documents there.
So how does one actually sign up? And are they looking at currently it being 35
What's that?
for the fall?
The fall.
So you said right now it's full, right?
Yes, the fall is cheaper than the summer, but again, I don't know exactly off the top of my head how much it's going to cost because we haven't hashed that out. But you would sign up, we would send, right now, it's essentially, I just blast everything out on Facebook, and then the school, Jay will send out a email to all parents with the link. It's on Google Docs, so everyone, it's a shared Google Docs, anyone that has a link, that they can answer all the questions, sign up, and then I see those responses and then organize them and see how many kids are
What's the maximum for your kids?
Well, for the fall session, I would say we have quite a bit of staff now, so we hired quite a few people to help Penny. So somewhere in the 30 to 40 range.
It's gonna be your cutoff.
Yeah, I mean, we do sometimes get some stragglers and then we'll bring them in. The private program that we're gonna run in the summer, I'm hoping to grow much more than that because we have more opportunities. The after school program, we're kind of limited in 6, but usually around the 30 to 40 range. But that's also with staff that were volunteers, so the board, including myself, volunteered last year, so we had to kind of limit the amount of people because we didn't have a second person. But now we have 3, so we should be able to accept more. I haven't really talked to Penny, so I don't want to, speak on her behalf. I want to know how many. So she's been here a long time. Want to know what she feels comfortable with. But in my guess, it would be 30 to 40.
Do you request funding by warrant article from neighboring towns, or do you get funding just from grants and fundraising in other ways?
So wherever there's a grant, I'm looking for. So whether it's Stephen King, which has been extremely generous to help this program continue when it was kind of moving along. So he really kept that program going, and it seems like no one else kind of did. But wherever there's money, I'm looking for it. So whether it be Freiburg, Brownfield, all the way over. Forgive me, I don't know all the towns off the top of my head, but the Suncook School, and then Conway, Maine.
Are you collaborating with all the other programs? Like, are you working to collaborate with the RAC program, for example, doing STEM activities and?
Yeah, so this year we couldn't because it was so quick notice, but next year I'm working with the Freiburg RAC program to somehow incorporate ours into theirs, because we need more days, and we can't just do August 1st or whatever that first Monday is of August till when school starts. We need more time. So we're working to try to figure out how we can work together, at least for the last couple of weeks of the Freiburg Rec, and then it immediately starts into PKA after school. So there's no break for the parents if they need after school side of the summer.
In the fall, is what kind of activities are you looking into?
So we're working with Tin Mountain again to do some of that stuff. We have a couple people that are coming in for art people to do some of the art programs. Obviously the tutors, some of that stuff has to be outside activity or activity. So we have a kid that wants to be a gym coach, so he's coming in the summer. He lives in, or he goes to Freiburg Academy to help with that stuff. So those are some of the thoughts. I haven't really hashed it all out yet for this session because I've got so focused on the summer. But I'm still looking at local places that can come in and teach kind of the kids just different things. There's a hiking person that I believe she works at, she's a ranger or something like that, so she's going to come in and do that type of stuff with the kids. Just a lot of different random things in my brain that I read for that.
So it's more than just sports, it's more of a.
Yeah, so it can't, only a certain amount of, so each session or each thing is a certain amount of time. So outside activities or activities like that can only be X amount of hours a week, and then we have to look at other things like STEM activities opposed to just outside activities like technology and science and all that stuff. Yes, well, we will, but not this summer, but yes, we're incorporating that as well.
You said that you're working with primary rec next year. Have you checked with like Level Rec, Denmark Rec, or Brownfield Rec to be working with those, considering they're SAB 72 also?
I have not, so I didn't even know they existed. So this is why, definitely, this is more of a learning for me, so I can find these things out, because I didn't know Freiburg Rec existed. I didn't know the school, I've been here for a while, but like 5-6 years, so, but I didn't know these things really, because I'm kids, so why would I know they existed? I didn't know the school did certain things during the summer, so this is more of a information for you guys, but things that I can learn, like that. So no, I didn't know. If I can give you my card, you can shoot me an email and give me some contact information, that would be great. I don't, it doesn't matter who I work with, but we just gotta work with someone.
Okay.
What's your role?
I am the program director now, so I'm stepping down as the chair/president of the board, and running into just the PKA daily operations of that stuff. So I probably should have started at the beginning. My experience is I've worked in healthcare leadership from middle management to senior management at various different hospitals, but most of my experience came from, started off with grants, so I've done grants for about 20 years for hospitals, which when I was with Ascension Health, most of my grants were after school programs, whether it be kids that were in the system, so essentially you go to this program where you're going to go to jail, or trying to stop that from happening, so free of that, if you're been notified by your principal that, or they let us know that you're at risk of that, so they come to our programs. Also, parents that are young, that need to learn how to be parents, so 14, 15-year-old kids, or parents that have lost their kids due to CPS, things like that. So teaching them how to be parents. So that was most of my experience with grants, and I kind of wrote all of those grants. And then once I went to senior leadership, it didn't really happen in that aspect. It was more of what grants can you give me to help our facility, because that was more important. But it's kind of nice.
You get out of that to do this.
Yes, I did. I own my own healthcare consulting company with my wife, because I was driving to Woodville, New Hampshire every day, which is what, an hour and a half, hour and 35 minutes to work every day. My wife was like, all right, enough of that. So we had a healthcare consulting company that was kind of on the side, so we've been kind of eliminating that. I work from home with my pajamas.
I'll go for my pajamas.
Anything else? Great questions. I'm gonna stay back there for a while, so like if you guys want, if you guys know anyone that wants to donate, let me know. I have forms, plus I have it on my Facebook page. Feel free to donate as little or as much as possible. And then I can give you my business card. So I'll stay back there for a little while. If you want my business card,
If we could get a business card.
yeah. It's a little hot here, sorry. Wet a little bit.
Thank you.
It was cool when I walked in, but then when I started talking, I'm like, okay. Just water.
That's
Yeah.
To where? I'm sitting right here. To where, hon? Where? Where would you like me to move to? We're removing this one has a problem, but they shut that off.
I'm setting them up.
That's what it is.
Well, that's a really good thing for the grant, for the mini splits in here. They're not being no more. Okay, Ms. Allen, referendum voting question on November ballot.
Simply, I just want to see if the selectmen will consider putting on the ballot referendum voting instead of voting at the town meeting.
Okay, could you elaborate on the referendum voting in specifically? What you're proposing?
So would we vote in June at the regular election, we would
Okay.
also vote on all the articles that we have, to
So
vote on.
you want the warrant as a referendum?
We would still have town meeting, and then within 7 days, we would vote on all of the articles that, are presented to the town.
Right now, we're voting for town. I mean, that's.
Informational. Informational.
I guess I'm confused. Instead of conducting the open town meeting with open vote, you want to have the warrant proposed in an informational meeting and then it presented as a ballot referendum.
By law, we still have to have the town meeting. Within 7 days of that, we have to vote on the articles that are presented.
Well, we're taking away,
We're gonna have a lot more people voting, not just 107, 108, whatever it was, that was at town meeting.
How do you amend anything?
You can, at the town meeting, present an amendment, and the amendment and the original will be, will be on the ballot.
but we have to have with a referendum ballot, we have to have absentee ballot. And that's 30 days prior to the day of the vote. So how would we referendum the warrant?
I just know, I've talked to the Secretary of State, Kate Wadsworth, Michelle.
Yep.
It can be done, the logistics need to be worked out of it, but it can be done.
Well, I guess my question would be is, we're giving up one meeting for two now. Because you want an informational so that amendments could be presented and they have to be voted on. So we're holding a town meeting to do an amendment to change a warrant article or amend a warrant article that is presented. So that's essentially, it would be a town meeting.
You have to talk to
And then-
MMA and see what they say about how we could do amendments.
Yeah, I wouldn't contact MMA, no offense. I would contact town's attorney. Only reason MMA, a lot of people, Maine Municipal, they are attorneys, but they don't represent us legally. They give us a generalization, kind of points in the right direction, so we don't get the soup to nuts, if you will, on what we have to do via good reason for general information. But we would hold a meeting and then produce ballots for 2 meetings. Because a ballot would still a special town meeting. Or a town meeting at that point. It would be a continuation.
You have to contact the town lawyer and MMA to see what their take on the amendments are. That's the sticking point.
Well, not only that, but we still have to have a moderator.
Well, choose a different one this time.
Well, we would have to have a moderator, so. Jen?
If we do what she requested, and we have the informational meeting, then we put the articles on the vote to vote, and then we have another town meeting, the people that all voted, their vote could be null and void when we go to town meeting if we're voting on amendments. Because you still got just the amount of people that show up that is going to vote, so you're still not getting the majority of the people. Am I
Well,
right?
I don't think that's what she meant by it, is, we would get, it would be in anticipation of a higher, vote count, vice 105, which, by the way, in 10 years, the last town meeting, not for the single article, the one prior, was the third lowest in 10 years. Just so you know. We usually average about 120 to 123 is our average. So we were actually low this past year.
But the people who vote, ballot vote was what, 4 something?
Yeah,
So
well,
a lot more participation.
yeah, but I would love to ask this question. When ballot vote, and I could be off base, ballot voting is a quick, easy process. It's 5 minutes out of your day. You come in the front door, you see the ladies here, they give you your ballots, you go into there, check them off, and you walk over, you drop them in a box, and leave out the door and you go. If there's a long line, it can take 15 to 20 minutes. When we hand them a ballot with 28 articles, plus the election, you have to remember we have elections every year with that at the same time. So you're going to have 2 separate ballots, possibly 3, if there's anything in the state. So would we actually have that membership? Just a thought.
I mean, sometimes we have 2 ballots anyways.
Yeah, but not with 28, with 29 questions.
And then if there's amendments on those, it's gonna up
Well, no, the ballots, I would definitely have to find out, because if we do a referendum vote, pretty sure there's the absentee ballot that is the kind of the hangout type of thing. Now, I do know what you talk about with the Secretary of State, I'm sure these ladies do as well. 7 days from the onset of the beginning of your town meeting, when you go into session, you have 7 days to complete. After that, you're done. You have to either cancel it, or you need to close it, reopen, or reconvene to do that. So, but I don't know what the absentee ballot is. Cindy?
Is there a way to do it like we do the public hearing and then the referendum vote?
I don't understand your question.
You know, like when we do the special town votes, like when we did the truck, and we had like 4 questions, I think, on a special.
When we did the
Then
public
did
hearing for the
public
ballot.
hearing for those.
For the ballot,
Could we
yes.
do the same thing with the
We have to.
town meeting?
We have to.
Yeah, but could we do the same thing with our town warrant? Could we do the public hearing and then do?
That's basically what the town meeting would be the
Well, that's just it.
public hearing.
This is what I don't understand is you want more participation, and I agree. I would love to see more participation. Truly would. But you're trading just a singular meeting for multiple meetings. And I really, and I hope honestly that the informational meetings and the public hearings that happen on those ballot questions that happened in April, that we would have more participation. Because those informationals and those public hearings, between 9 and 13. So we had 105 show up for town meeting. I do agree that in those cases, a ballot, referendum ballot, does attract more of a vote. But what are we trading for that? Cindy?
I know you don't like my point of view on this. My point of view on the referendum ballot is that you're getting more than just the people that show up. You're getting the people that can vote absentee. You're getting the people that can't come out to, that can't sit in a chair for multiple hours to the town meeting. And I know there was a big discussion on Facebook about this very topic after last town meeting, that there were people that wanted to come to the meeting, but they weren't able to. And you can't capture all those people that want to vote, but they just can't do it. But they could they could do it absentee, or they could come in and they could do it via, coming into a booth. So
Well,
you
I don't-
capture a lot more people, and you would get more people's opinion on how they want to spend their money than just a very small portion of the town. So I understand how you guys feel, it's a lot more of your time, I totally get that, I respect that, but if you guys could look in to see if it's possible, I think that's what maybe Tracy's asking, is if you could look into it and see if it's possible.
I have no problems putting this on a ballot. I want everybody to fully understand that, and the time that it's gonna take, even if it were to do that, and do a referendum, ballot, whatever. It is what it is. That's what we're here for. Please don't misunderstand. I wanna make sure that we're doing what the majority of Brownfield wants, not what few individuals. Okay? There's a big difference. I don't have a problem putting this forth to the town's attorney, so the Secretary of State we can get clear guidance. I do have to worry about absentee ballots, 100%. And as you just stated, well, people can't make it, they like the absentee ballot. So great. So, I'm fine with that. I really am.
You have to run two sets, correct? Absentees, probably. Some people, you deal with, people can't come here and vote, so we're gonna have a vote absentee on amending the articles first, and then.
I
get all that stuff out,
honestly,
then
I don't know
send
how
out
the amendments would
and
work.
have them vote absentee twice.
I don't know how the amendments would work. I'm just throwing out to you how the feel of, I think every year after town meeting, and this has been along for many, many years, and I think a lot of people are frustrated that only a certain amount of people come and vote and say, hey, this is 100 people, I'm gonna exaggerate, 150 people showed up, which we all know 150 don't, but 150 people decided for 1,200 people how my money is spent. And I understand the amendments. The amendments are a little bit of a concern as to how that's gonna happen. But in the grand scheme of things, there are a lot of people in this town that just can't make it to the meeting. And I know you guys think that I can't come to this meeting every week. I know you think that people can, but even I can't come to this meeting every week. I have an illness that does not allow me to make it to this meeting every week. So there are a lot of people in this town that just can't come to a meeting that's gonna last 3-4 hours. They can't.
Could I pose a question?
Yes.
Okay. My question would be to you is if we do a referendum warrant, if you will, and we have a budgetary request in for $350,000 for public works, and the taxpayers vote it down, what do I do? We can't sit there and hash it out. We can't,
I
how-
totally
Then you're not
how do
going
we-
through 18 to 20 articles.
Man, I have to.
No, we'll be voting on them on ballot. So if something gets voted down like the payroll, we may have to do that one article, but we're not gonna have to go through 18 to
But I
20
still have to have a reporting period for those ballot votes. And what if there are multiple, articles that fail, that are budgetary or contractually required? What do I do?
So a whole lot of what ifs.
Agreed, it's a whole lot of what ifs of what if we go to referendum?
Doesn't work, it doesn't work, then you go back. But what we're doing now isn't working.
BJ,
My name is BJ Parker, and this is very similar, what they propose is very similar to other forms of government that do it just that way. I speak two towns. You have a deliberative portion of the town meeting where everybody talks about the warrant, makes their amendments, and has their discussions, and then a month later, or however long, I think it's about a month, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, they go and they vote, and the whole town votes on it. How the absentee voting works, I'm not sure about that, but my guess is people would have the opportunity to vote absentee before the town meeting, or they could wait until after the town meeting when the discussions happen to vote, as long as it's before the referendum, right? Because I don't know how it works, I don't know the laws, so that might be why you're looking at me funny, but
I guess I was
what
just
I'm
confused
saying
with that
is
is,
you have the deliberative, and then you have a period of a few weeks before they actually vote. That would give people the opportunity to talk about what they heard and learned at the town meeting. It would give people a chance to absorb what was said at town meeting. It would give it an opportunity for people who are not able to sit at a town meeting for 4 hours to actually have a vote.
well, it's 30 days prior to the vote day. We have to have absentee ballots available. 30 days prior to the vote day.
Right,
So now keep this in mind. Like this year, we have to have the absentee ballot for the November referendum by October 2nd. I have to have it that day because the town office is closed on that Friday. But we also have to have the absentee ballot rough available for public review. It's in a draft form. Now we could be working on it and that draft could be revised, but the second we create that draft, it has to be available for the public.
I see.
So I understand if we were to decide to do this, the referendum voting with the warrant, I can't limit the questions. There are statutorily, some of them are statutorily required. I have to put them in there. The budgetary ones, I'm not sure how the taxpayers would go for that. Because now, we would have, say, 26 articles, and it's just gonna be a bottom line number. They're not gonna be laid out like it is in the warrant. Like you can see, Public Works at $165,000 for paving, and $95,000 for maintenance, and $60,000 for fuel. It's not gonna be laid out that way.
No, but you would still have the whole booklet that has all of that in there.
Why would I create a warrant if I'm creating a
Somebody
ballot?
needs,
For informational purposes for everybody in town.
SB 2000 have warrants.
Who?
SB 2000 do the deliberative and then do the voting after, do the
No,
warrants, right? Like,
I don't know. I've never experienced.
because you would need
So
a
where I
warrant
have-
for discussion,
Right, but
to
that's-
make the amendments.
Right, but that's just it. What I'm saying is, why don't we do this?
Create a committee.
That would actually
I'm
work.
kidding.
No,
Basically, there's two choices. Either you can talk to the town's attorneys and the MMA to get two separate opinions and vote to put it on in November, or we can petition it. I can get a petition out to have it on there.
I don't have a problem putting anything on the ballot. As long as that article has been vetted through legal. So if that's what you're asking, create me an article, and I'm respectfully asking, create me an article, present it, turn it into Miss Patty, she'll send it to Leah, have her review it, if she brings it back, I'll put it as an article. I have zero problem with that. Any taxpayer can do that, as long as I understand it has to go through legal, because it has to be defended. I have no choice in that. I have to send it to you. But I don't have a problem with it. And we can just do this.
I've heard a lot of people talk about that.
So I'll make a motion that we take the. What?
Um,
I don't, but I know there's some there.
my question would be is if this is gonna go as a question to attorney, do we need absentee ballots, and let me finish, do we need absentee ballots for this section of voting? Not state, not federal stuff, our town warrant. And I will preface this by saying, we don't do absentee ballots for the town meeting. This is essentially the same stuff, same articles, give or take a word or two, the same stuff. Do we need absentee ballots for that?
Yes.
Well, this would be the.
Why?
this
Why?
would be-
Because we're doing it as a referendum. As an open town meeting, that open town meeting allows for the collaboration, for the back and forth, for the amendments. With a referendum vote, we have to have absentee ballots, because at the open town meeting, everybody has access. And absentee ballot, we still have to do
How do you
it.
have access?
I'm sorry?
If you can't get out of your house, how do you have access?
They can call and ask for, request an absentee ballot. So they have that option. Now, as far as going to the town meeting, it's an open town meeting. But any referendum ballot, we have, correct me if I'm wrong, we're required to have absentee ballots available 30 days prior to the vote. And that's statutorily required.
But not for the regular
For
open
everything.
town meeting.
It's anything that is on a closed ballot that you enter a booth into, I have to have it. I have to
So what if
have it.
there's an amendment? How do you vote on the amendment if you're housebound?
Man, how do you vote, period? I mean, you want us to go to a ballot vote so that we get a larger portion of the taxpayers to vote, correct? We can't account for 100% of them, just like you stated earlier. There's a lot of what ifs. Well, what if somebody can't get out of their house? They get a ballot, great, you can call and get an absentee ballot sent to your address. They verify it through the elections officer, and they get sent in the mail. But as far as town meeting, I don't have an answer for that. Honestly, you're asking that question to me. If they can't get out of the house, I don't know who's not able to get out of their house. You? And do
It
you
doesn't matter.
Do you go pick them up?
It
Or
doesn't
I
matter.
mean, I honestly couldn't answer that question. But, well,
Several times during the course of this discussion, I have heard numbers thrown out as far as people who attend the town meeting. Let's say somebody said 110. Okay, fine. That's going to be the informational, according to this new system we may be talking about, that's going to be the number of people who show up at the informational town meeting. That's the one where you're going to go and you're going to go over there and you're going to sit and maybe it's going to take a few hours. Okay. Now, the best thing to do is to have it at ballot and twice as many people show up. And I heard also that number of people, that twice, let's say 110 came to the first one, so now we got 220 people going to come in and vote in here. Okay, where did they get the other 110? Are they voting without any information on the questions because they weren't at the other meeting? Oh no, they're going to get the information from their friends and neighbors, meaning over in the parking lot of the post office, which is goddamn fraught with
Everything's on
danger.
Zoom, everything's on Facebook. They'll see it.
I don't go near
You go to the
Facebook.
meeting.
Well,
I go to the meetings. I vote.
Well, what happens if you said there's no minutes taken of the meeting?
Then that's the way life is. Sometimes you don't get.
Actually, no, Patty did an excellent job at town meeting, and she actually recorded town meeting this year. It was fabulous. And I think that that's a great tool that people are able to use, and that's posted on a platform that anyone with internet access can see. Not Facebook, it's internet.
oh, if they ain't got internet, they can't vote. I'm just saying.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that if you have a
I'm
public
just
meeting,
Rabbit hole out for
Yeah.
what I'm saying is you have a public meeting.
No, ma'am,
And she's
I'm not arguing
recording
the
it,
point.
then she can actually, people can get that information if they cannot be present.
And that's just it. That's one of the things that I am just dumbfounded with. The information is out there. The information is out there if you want it.
Yeah.
It really is, folks. If you want the information, there's always a way to find it. Most people don't. And then it's a big problem. I don't know where to find the information. Okay, 2 more questions, and I'm gonna make my motion. Vinny, you had your hand up.
Yeah, the only time people really show up, whether it's a referendum or the annual town meeting, is when they vote. They don't come to hearings, they don't come to workshops, there's no participation unless people vote. So and there was an amendment brought up at the last special annual town meeting, that we do a referendum instead of a town meeting, and that was voted down. I mean, the only time people get to say their voice or be heard is at the annual town meeting, and exchange ideas, and we heard what people were saying. It was a tax issue, they're tired of paying high tax, whatever. But, I mean, that's what people get to speak at the annual town meeting, and, because they're there, because they're voting, and if you talk to the moderator, our town produces more people at the annual town meetings than most other towns he represents. And so we should be proud of the amount of people we get at the town meeting. 150 people is quite a bit. I mean, it's
They'll
something
still
to be
have
really
that
proud of.
opportunity though. They'll still have the opportunity, if they wanna say something, to come and say it. We're not gonna prohibit that.
But they don't come to the hearings. They don't go anywhere unless the vote being taken. Because that's what the most important thing is.
But
Whether it's a day
but
or
a
something,
lot,
or what
well,
it
that's
is.
not true, because there's only 100 and something people there, and then the voting was 300 and something. So it's not true, people don't wanna sit there for 3 or 4 hours, listen to a moderator who doesn't, have our best interests and listen to the people in town.
Well, sometimes with ballot voting, referendums, they coincide with gubernatorial, governmental voting, state voting. So people are showing up for that for elections, besides
What is it?
a referendum that might be held
March,
in the
November?
town level.
For primaries?
But anyway, it's,
March and November. Yeah, so those we could do any of the state or federal primaries, March and November. So we could do ballots with those as well. And the only reason for that, folks, is we have to pay for ballot clerks. And actually,
You ignore me.
1,500 to 20, figure 15 to 2,500 for the election. So if we do the specials, obviously it costs more. Cindy?
So if we do amendment vote there, they're gonna have to hire more people to come in and count ballots. Or stay all night long with the count of 26 articles. So they have to hire more people to come in, so then the price of this office is gonna go up to election to hire more people to come in and count.
We have a machine
No, we
actually
don't.
that you can actually fix to count those ballots.
We don't own that machine, it's the state's.
This is the state thing.
That's the state's.
Well, last I knew that you could fix that so that you could include your town votes as well.
No, I thought we had to buy the software,
Right.
and the software was like tens of thousands of dollars.
Well,
I think we got something better to spend our money on.
Can you check on how
I
much?
sure
it
will,
costs?
no problem.
I think we got something better if it's $10,000 to spend our money on.
Right.
We could purchase a machine, and we did look into that before. We did look
It
into
would,
buying a
I
machine.
talked to Michelle, it would create a little bit more time to count them, but it's worth it to have more participation in town.
Agreed. Chad, last question, then we'll move on.
Just move on and take it to the town lawyer, that's all I'm asking.
Well, no, I
Make
mean,
your thing and take it to the town lawyer, see what she has to say. No more discussion.
okay, very well.
Gee, thank you.
So I'll make the motion, but I need to know when would you bring an article forward?
I need to talk to the town lawyers first and see what they say about the amendment.
So would you?
I think we need to hash out how this is all gonna be done.
This is why a committee would be good.
I never fucking committed.
We have no time for a committee.
No, I have a question with just that reaction, man. I truly do. and I saw a couple others, the same thing, another committee. The accusation and the gum bumping that has happened in this town about selectmen don't listen to what the taxpayers have to say. Really? We form committees from taxpayers to provide us with information and direction so that we're listening to the taxpayers. So it absolutely kills me when a taxpayer sits there and says, we got too many committees. We don't have the time for that. Wait a minute. You're in here complaining to me that we don't listen to what you have to say and we're not doing what you want us to do. But you don't want to take 1 minute out of your day or week or month to provide a little direction or, information so that we can make a more informed decision.
A
But you're
committee
blocking
isn't
the
gonna give you the legal answers you want.
No, that's all I'm saying.
Just
That's all I'm
give the
saying.
legal answers, and then, so we have an informed decision, and then I will do the article. So that we have all the information we need.
Something in there. You got all that information?
I do.
All right.
Honestly.
Peg has to work. Okay, Mr. Lanavera, meeting decorum.
Yeah, Mr. Lanavara on the agenda, so you don't get confused with other people that look like me around town. But anyway,
The hearing really throws it off.
But anyway, what I'm mostly concerned about, a lot of times in public meetings and everything else, people slip into some profanity, swearing, whatever. And I don't think, people in the audience and other people, and there's been meetings I've been at, and it's mixed groups of people of different religious persuasions, different ethnic groups, whatever. And I just like to see that, people try to restrain themselves. I'm not trying to be negative about it. I know what happens. And, people get enthusiastic about things, they're frustrated about things. But it'd just be nice if we could sort of eliminate it at all the meetings, public meetings, and any place where, because people come here from, like this fellow did, if this was profanity or something from the audience or whatever, that's what he's gonna go home with, as a memory of the meeting. So, that's all, it's just, if we could moderate, try to keep it down, that's all I can say.
Depot Street. Discussion to make it a one-way from 113 in. There was another accident out there. Now people are right back to where we were. This is like Groundhog Day. Anytime an accident happens out here. Oh, a rotary and rumble strips, and the state has already come down. We have beat that horse to death. They're not going to spend $1 million to put a rotary in. They're not going to come down here and put in rumble strips. They're not going to change anything. They're not going to change the speed limit. We've gone through this. So in an attempt to listen to the taxpayers and do something, I wanted to discuss about making Depot Street one way in from 113. Yep.
People coming up with 113. So what happens when somebody doesn't know that? I mean, is that good?
We're putting signage up. I mean,
People don't read.
well, you know what? If there's signage up, then they can be ticketed. Simple as that. They're breaking the law at that point. So, yes.
Someone else mentioned to me a while back, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody mentioned that when people come from Hiram through the flats up into this intersection, and they're not from here, they don't know they're coming into this crazy intersection. So they're in this passing zone, flying through, and then all of a sudden they're in the middle of a 5-way intersection. And I've lived in Brownfield my whole life. I haven't looked at the signage, I haven't gone down there, but it was suggested to me that we put just like a sign that says dangerous intersection ahead or something like that.
we cannot, that is a state road, as is Pig Street, Main Street, 160. We cannot just arbitrarily throw signage out.
Yeah, but we can't ask them to do it?
Well, we've had that discussion.
And they won't do that?
No, they won't even drop the speed limit. The last time they stated was there's not enough, there aren't enough accidents happening at that intersection to warrant a change. So they're not going to. Huh?
Would a petition of some kind help?
That's what we're here for, okay? Now, I had Miss Patty reach out to DOT to ask about speaking to us again about a blinking light. 2 red, 2 yellow, you know. It's my understanding that the town did that once before, and the agreement with DOT was, and the state was, that we would pick up the light bill on it. And then the taxpayer said, hell no, we're not paying for it. Good job. So I'm gonna re-enter, hopefully they will entertain us, to try to do something out there, I think helping with a blinking light and making Depot Street a one-way. That's the only road in that entire intersection that we have any say over whatsoever. Everything else is state. Who lands up first? I'll get to you in a second. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do we have any control over grants entries?
No.
Whatever.
No. Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, but we were told by the state that we cannot shut down any entrances or exits from that private property that is not in our legal purview. Because, again, the state won't do it, and it's on a state road. So, and I'm pretty sure that was in the report. That was, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think that's 3 years ago. Just like, you look at the accidents, I handle 99.9% of the accidents out there. You look where them accidents are, it's coming off 160 from Denmark, it's coming off Main Street, and off Pig Street. Very seldom have I had one come off of Depot Street. But they're all off, so one way is still, you know, and coming out of grants. That's a lot of your accidents, and that's where they come out of.
Inattention.
Yep, they come out of 160 and they try to beat the car coming up the road. That was our last one, right, Rick?
Yes,
Try to beat it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way. It's 160, Main Street, and Pig Street are bad, where we have them. I think I've only handled 1 or 2 out of Depot Street.
But it would help with the congestion part.
Maybe.
Whoever's behind you, I can't see.
Hi,
Oh.
Teresa Noonan.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to know if you consider doing this, are you going to please somehow or another let all the people that live within a 3-mile radius of there have some say in it before you make a decision? I didn't know this was happening until I read it today, that you were considering making a one-way again. I thought that point had been brought up and decided you weren't going to. So I think people really need to be informed and have a say on that.
So you'd prefer it to be a ballot question?
I would prefer it to have some.
I'm simply asking because I've got the time, right? This is a lot of the problems that I run into in the past year. People want something, they want taxpayers' input, they want the taxpayers to vote on it. But when certain things come up, we have time constraints. I have to have an informational, I don't have to have an informational. That's to be nice to the taxpayers. But the public hearing is statutorily required, and we meet absentee ballot. So that's why you're gonna see that there are things that we don't go to the taxpayers to get permission to do. Time constraints have some of it, and the other part of it.
900, you have 900 10-acre lots in Saco River Shores. I think that those people all pay taxes, all have a right to know, and are not always getting the information, because some of them don't live here, some of them are second homes, you can do them all you want, but it's the fact of the matter, they pay a huge amount of the taxes in this town. They have a right to know that this is up for discussion.
I don't disagree, and it's not like we're hiding any information from anybody.
No, but you know what, I didn't know it today, I didn't see it on the board. I didn't know until I picked up my phone and looked at it and saw it was being discussed. So it wasn't out there. I check my phone like every other day to see what's coming up. I did not see that until today. Doesn't give a lot of time. And, you know, I hate to say it, maybe we need a committee. I don't want another committee, but maybe we need another committee. And on the committee thing, Rick, I don't think people have a problem with the committees. What they have a problem with is the same people being on so many committees. And is there a conflict of interest with so many people being on so many committees? So I take a little bit of offense to some of the things that you say, as you know. Don't include everybody.
Well, no, ma'am, but I will address that statement that you just did, that it's the same people on all these committees.
I didn't say this to all. I said there are some that are on multiple committees.
Agreed.
Let's be verbatim if we're going to say things
Okay.
back.
All right.
Okay?
Yep.
Good. Thank you.
So in some, in many, however you like to term it, those are the people that step forward.
Well, other people are really intimidated, Rick. I've told you this before. People are intimidated. They're afraid of retaliation and intimidation. I came here today shaking in my boots because of the retaliation. I've seen some snickering going on here when other people were talking. It's inappropriate, and it does affect people.
What retaliation?
I'm not, if you want to talk privately, I will tell you.
Definitely I do.
You absolutely know what I'm talking about.
Definitely I do, because if there is an insinuation
Let's say stop sign
whatsoever.
at the end of Misty Lane. Does that
Ma'am.
ring a bell?
Ma'am, we'll have that discussion, but if there's anybody that wants to throw that accusation that there's retaliation from the Board of Selectmen and the people at this
Not the
table.
Board of Selectmen,
Okay, well,
town
the
workers,
people at this
and
table.
people on committees.
I will definitely do this.
Intimidation is a factor.
Okay?
Whose town workers you talking about?
Well, we're good.
Oh, I think you know.
I have a question, Teresa.
Yes.
Copper River Shores has an annual meeting, right?
Yes, they do.
Does everybody attend?
We had our largest attendance that we've ever had last year. It was absolutely huge.
Good, that's good. Can someone from the committee or the board, I don't know how it's board?
You could talk to the president, Bernie Talty, about that. We have since realized that even though we have somebody who's in charge,
That guy's still the treasurer.
it's enforcing, like the same thing with Brownfield. If you can't enforce things, it does, all of those rules are new.
Is this area called that she's talking about?
Oh, it's over off Misty Lane. It's a homeowners association.
Saco
River Shores. Yes.
Our meeting is, 2 weeks into August.
All right, folks. Hey.
It's done too late.
Not an HOA, it's a municipality.
So, well, yes, ma'am.
I am Sarah York, and I live at 9 Depot Street. Well, I have a diner, and I pay commercial property, and I pay about $3,800 for that property, and there's only 1.25 acres, and I am not for the one-way. I like it two-way. There's heavy traffic. There are elderly people that live there that cut down to the River Shores, to Misty Lane, and I do not agree with the one-way. I think it would be dangerous, and I don't think it's fair, and that's not how I feel. And I feel like I wanted to say about the Dillon's driveway. I mean, I hate to say that about Dillon's, but the driveway that comes out is dangerous. And like where they make that left-hand turn out of 160. And then I've been told by the fire department that that's not even the most dangerous intersection. That the one up by Shepherd's River is when people make, when they don't look up and they take that right-hand turn and right by Cindy's. So
I've made a lot of money on that
so
car.
I don't know why we're beating up the bush about this one about the five-way intersection.
You just know what those
There's more intersections everywhere that are dangerous. Everywhere at intersections.
Believe it or not, this is the only intersection that we get the most complaints about. And the most taxpayer input on. That not any other intersection in this town, the taxpayers come down and say anything to us to look into or want to get the state involved. It's this intersection right here.
Right.
That's the only one.
And I don't know. I just feel like it's not fair, and I don't know why Depot Street is getting picked on. It's only a half a mile, and it's not even a half mile, it's a quarter or something. I don't know where it is. Yeah. But
It's the only.
that's how I feel.
It's the
I'm
only
against
town.
it. So
I think the state don't care about it. Washington
sit on my doorstep to avoid people who whatever.
DJ.
I just want to know if a petition was done. No. If we have already had the discussion about Depot Street before, why would we raise it again? What's different now than what was already decided? But also, if we were to do that, would it help us with make our case with the state? Look, we tried this, we tried this, we tried this, we tried this. None of this is working. We're still having the accident. So no, it's not our road. It's not Depot Street. We made that a one-way. Like, would it help us in the long term? And the second thing I wanted to know is, has anybody gone to Dylan to see if he would be willing to close out one of those?
Yes, ma'am.
And he's not.
I don't blame him.
Well, I'm not placing
No,
blame.
it's his business. That's where he makes his money.
Dad put that in there.
To answer that there, honestly, as many times as this has come up, and this fella right here has been around a couple days, this discussion has happened many, many times.
Now that you brought me into this, I want to say something about that one. The reason the town people voted it down, I believe personally, it's not anything to do with the finances. It was because they was afraid that a blinking light's not going to make the difference, because the traffic on 113, you see a blinking light, you're not going to slow down.
I agree.
And all the rest of them got stop signs. So,
But one thing that the taxpayers can't say is that this board is not addressing the concerns of the taxpayers.
right.
Regardless of how you feel about any topic, you know, I don't have a dog in the fight, folks. I make a smoking amount of money off that intersection.
Could you ask the state to look at it again, Rick? Or
It was
when-
just 3 years ago, and they flat out refused
Well, what
and
about
said that they
DE's
would
idea
not.
To say, you know, we've had so many accidents since then, we've done everything, nothing's
What,
happening. Approach it from a different view.
Well, there's only been three or four accidents at that intersection since the last time the state came here.
Well, that's what they should
So-
know.
Well, they do know that.
I think we made it through 4th of July without one, so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, knock on wood.
Everyone paid attention.
Wait, don't say the next holiday. You'll jinx it.
When was the last traffic study done out there?
The 3 or 4 years ago that they had done that.
Yeah, they just did.
Yeah. I mean, they even went as far as putting those counter deals. And, you know, you're going over the hose and doing that. And that calculates speed as well. And the state just flat out, it's not enough of a concern to make change. So, I'll be honest with you folks, I got a dog in the fight. Honestly. I make good money off that intersection, I make good money off a lot of intersections.
You make good money from me.
So, but you can't say that we're not trying to address the taxpayers' concerns. Whether you want it, whether you want the sign up there or you don't, at least we're attempting to appease and address a safety concern that quite a few people want to address. Vinny?
Yeah, I called the DOT probably within the last year. I mentioned it to them about moving the reduced speed signs further away from the intersection so people would slow down closer, further away, and then also reducing the speed limit. And, you know, they kind of listen, but nothing happens, you know. And, but I think if a lot of citizens call, I mean, if all the people from Saco River Shores call the DOT and get on their case about it, and they probably won't do anything, but at least they know people are listening. I mean,
Actually, somebody's gonna die and somebody's gonna sue.
I mean,
Somebody has died.
Somebody has died.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to sue the state about it.
No. Read the laws.
Nobody has.
Read the
Oh, they
laws.
can't.
Read the laws.
They can.
You have to be in control of your vehicle on the roadways. If you're not, and you cause an accident, who are you going to sue? Well, the state, you know, I don't agree that the state, I didn't follow the speed limit. Who are you going to sue? You can't sue the state because you didn't follow the laws. Or the
No,
person, or that
you
other
see,
person
the
didn't
secret
pay attention.
negligence
Negligence how?
For not doing anything about it when it reaches a certain amount. I don't know. I'm not a super person, so I don't know.
Good luck with that.
Okay, we're good with Depot Street. I would say just scrap it out here. Depot Street is not on the agenda for the next fiscal year. Did Joe get ahold of you for the camera set? That all worked out?
No, he hasn't. Joe, we talked about.
Steph? Yeah, I did. No, you shouldn't.
He hasn't called me or emailed me.
I'll hit him up.
That's my guy. I think maybe when she got your hand,
Yeah, that's the yes.
maybe I didn't. That's all I had.
All right, I will make the motion to authorize 3974 out of properties and buildings, improvement for ideal security for the installation of security system with cameras at both doors. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, we have,
Did you say when he was coming out?
I'll hit him up when I get my. Anyway, he had one, I think Corey was going on vacation, he met with him. The code enforcement officer recommends admin fees for plumbing and septic permits. It's my recommendation to apply a town admin fee to all plumbing and septic permits as the town currently absorbs the cost of handling and processing. It is the code for 5 towns, and they range from $10 to $25 per application to cover the time office staff is involved in handling and processing postage, software, and stationery. What do you guys think? How much are you getting for a permit now? I know it changed. Can you?
Varies depending on what name. Yeah, there's a building permit varies. Building
If you could get the fee schedules for the their permits, what the CEO's permitting costs are. We'll revisit this next week. Then we can utilize the fee schedules.
Okay.
I know we went over that last time we did Jesse Winters changed a couple of them, we agreed. And then Bill, last time we went over the fee schedule for permits, that was, I think the last year you were on the board, I think, the last time we did it.
I think it was early in Mike's regime, maybe even right before him getting on.
Yeah, it's been a while since it's changed.
Yeah.
So we'll be back. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do that on next week's agenda. Yeah. Correspondence. Okay, we made the changes to the street standards. So there's new, the other one is in there, incorporated the change that we requested last week. Sign that, that's good. We have a certificate of appointment by municipal officers for a Jaden Ciclo, town guard committee member. Make a motion to approve this. In favor? Thank you. You're gonna have a discussion with Dan on these responses.
Yeah.
Is it a single signature form or is it?
No, yeah, I think it is. I think it just needs one signature from the selectmen
And this is-
then one signature from the treasurer. That goes through what we discussed in that meeting the other day.
Right.
What he would do, what he can do.
Okay, so, all right, so, kind of Brownfield, it'll be you and then select board member?
Yep. I think so. I think he has the word treasurer written on one of that.
Yeah. So we got 3.
Oh, okay, so
So it'll
we-
be all 3.
Yep. Okay.
So, in the discussion we had with Dee and Donald, any of the tax-buying properties have to be, listed and sold for, or attempted to be sold for current market value. This is a real estate, brokerage relationship form. I make a motion that we accept this and start moving forward with what, Tony Woodson has recommended we do with some properties and get some of these listed and so get sold. So that's a motion. All in favor? Dan McDonald's is dead. Actually, his property is only split in half his property is in the Brownfield. Joe, the 2025 CDBG Community Enterprise Grant recipient, this letter to Mr. Vinson, to sign it, that's for the phase 2 documents.
That's for the CEDE.
CDBG.
That's for the community center one.
Okay. Just so clear.
To Vincent.
Yes.
Yeah.
To Avon, yes.
Yeah.
Just need to sign it,
Yeah.
and then we forward all the information to them. It's one of the requirements that the state has, that it goes to them. I don't know why it goes to them, but,
Okay.
Thank you.
So, update on the status of the sign. Project is under budget. Eliminated some items, split block concrete. How much are we under budget?
round numbers, 2,200. We're still talking, we're gonna give Brendan one more chance to, submit an invoice. So,
Excellent. Always love to be on the budget.
I thought I did, but.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, listen, just for it. Awesome job coming in on the budget.
The sign committee did a good job with that. And, like they worked hard to come up with something that looked nice, something that was a reasonable price for the sign. And it should be mentioned that there were a lot of people, there were at least half a dozen people who donated their time to putting the structure up. And Andy Buck, of course, gave us a price that's probably a third of what he would normally ask. And Brendan Murphy, so far, he has done all that concrete and masonry work out there for nothing. And we're trying to convince him to submit a bill, because he does deserve something for it. But, we'll iron that out at the select board.
I'm gonna give you a log tomorrow.
So, it was a nice group effort.
Barb?
So I got a call to notarize some things for somebody yesterday, and they still were being told that this sign was costing by certain people close to $40,000.
Budget is, for the record, currently $29,154.58 as of the 26th of July.
But as of yesterday, they were still receiving the false information.
Yeah, no.
No,
We're good. We're saving money, folks.
This was verbal.
Randy, may take it back to Melissa. Did you read this? I'm going to give you the first example. You have requested for the town of Brownfield property located at 33 Pig Street in the town of Bridgeton, Maine. Tax map parcels R0775.
I will look at the numbers.
And then same thing with the second.
Okay.
It happens.
We got a Maine Veterans Homes. Thank you. Please accept my sincerest thanks for your donation of $500 on July 14, 2025 to Maine Veterans Homes. Scarborough, 100% of your gift goes to the Activities Fund, which ensures our residents have a full menu of activities to choose from, including indoor and outdoor recreation projects in the arts, music, and electronic media. Patricia Nutty, Administrator of Maine Veterans Home Street. This is from Maine Public, inspiring, entertaining, and trusted. Thank you very much for the gift of $150. We're delighted to receive this show of support from residents of Brownfield. Your generous contribution enables us to continue serving and responding to the evolving needs of Maine's communities. Production of approximately 500 hours of Maine calling programming in 2024 alone, engaging Maine as relevant, informative, and civil conservation. Sarah Kassoon, Director of Marketing, Membership, Fundraising, Specials. Upcoming meetings, Wednesday, 5 p.m., Public Safety Building Committee meeting at the library. Thursday, 4 p.m., Communication Committee meeting. Monday, 5 p.m., Community Resilience Committee meeting at the library. 5 p.m., Select Board Workshop, Playground Development, and Long-Term Sustainability. That's the fourth. Yeah, we can talk about that later. Administrative name change. That's not explained.
Yes, I did want to reinforce that we are having a communications committee meeting this Thursday at 4 p.m. And we invite everyone to participate. We are looking for ideas on how we can communicate better with the community. I also do want to stress that on our website, log on to our website, brownfieldmaine.gov, on the right-hand lower corner, there's a thing that says subscribe. Just press on that button, open up an account, and every single time we add something new to the website, you get a little ding. You get an email saying, hey, there's a selectmen's meeting tonight. Hey, this is the selectmen's agenda. Hey, there's a communications committee meeting tonight. So anything that needs to go out to the people, if you are subscribed, you will get an alert as soon as it hits the website. So I do stress, please sign up. Please tell your friends to sign up. It's very easy, it's free, and it's there for everybody. That's all I have to say. Yes?
Are committee meetings put online? Are they recorded too?
They're not recorded on like Zoom or anything like that, but we do have meeting minutes and so forth. And their minutes are put on the website so you can see what happened at a meeting if you weren't able to attend. So.
Yeah, like 4 o'clock, I don't even go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the selectmen meetings are on YouTube though.
Oh, yeah, you can
Yeah,
watch the
you
video
can watch
after
any of the
that,
past
yes.
selectmen's meetings on YouTube.
Yeah, I did know that. I guess I got up late.
Yeah.
I'm okay?
Sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? Yes.
So everybody says, I'm okay.
Okay, you had your hand up first.
We made a deal.
Oh, okay. Oh, crack deals in the audience, huh? Wow.
Mary from Arthur's Memorials told me today that they won't be here to repair the earliest they would be here to repair the 5 or 6, I forget what it was, tombstones, will be October.
Okay.
Because they've got all their other work lined up, and that's when they start doing cleanups and repairs. But she'll give us a heads up, and we can let Jess Davis know when that happens, in case she needs to be out here.
Perfect.
And then the second thing is just a quick report on the enterprise grant. We were getting a little anxious to get out there and get some pricing in, and Terry Ann Holden from the state told us not to panic, to take a deep breath. There's a lot of paperwork that still needs to be worked out, and I sent some late emails over to Patty. That's really some forms that probably the attorney wants to look at. They're acceptance of bids, contract, blah, 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 so forth and so on. And there'll be more. In the bid package, there's probably about a dozen items that have to go out to each bidder. So as of right now, until that gets squared away, and the state's doing a great job, they're doing the work, they're giving it to us to review. We make comments, we send it back to them. So far, so good with the scope of work form and also the proposal form. And my point is that right now I would say the earliest we would go out to bid is probably in 2 to 3 weeks. Then we'll give some time to get the bids in, then we have to analyze them, get the state's approval, get the select board approval. So one of the things of concern is the siding, and depending on when we can get the siding on, that's when Jeff Jakes will be able to paint that.
Right.
But meeting with Jeff Jakes, he's going to get started on everything else, the masonry, the columns, some of the other areas that he can start working on. So he's going to fit that into his schedule. So that's the latest right now.
Sweet. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
One of my questions actually comes off from his comments about painting the community center. And I think one of the reasons why the Brownfield school is still up there is when they talked about it before, if they took the letters down, it still would have had a shadow of the letters. So they left the letters up there. And I'm just wondering if those letters were going to be left up there, or if they were going to be taken down. And if they're going to be taken down, could we consider have a nice historical plaque, a sign that put on the community center that says Old Brownfield School, and the dates that it was in service?
No problem with it.
So I think that was mentioned at one time before, but I think people found it either confusing or didn't look very well.
So if we do all the siding that we're planning on doing, which is probably about 98% of the building, those letters would come off with the siding, and then new siding would go back up, and we can save the letters and do whatever.
Maybe a nice, as this looking historical plaque might be nice to put on it, and just leave the Brownfield Community Center as a primary. I don't know, just a thought. Is it okay if I ask all my questions while I'm at it? I hate to hold you up. Do we know when we'll be able to view the audits?
View the audits. 24 should be available, right?
Yeah, all 3 of them, 22, 23, and
23. Yeah. We got books for 22, 23. We haven't received the 24 yet.
Okay, so can we see, how do we see 22 and 23?
Go ahead and ask the treasurer and
Okay,
give you a copy.
so I sent her an email. And,
They're not posted yet, they're not posted yet.
Well, it doesn't matter if they're posted or not. We have our copy that has been presented by the auditors we already signed off on them, we accepted the audits. We have zero control on when the state posts on their site.
well, last I
It could
heard
be-
was,
it could
when,
be-
when Ron was here, the last I heard was that nobody sees these. So I was just waiting for
Nobody sees what?
the audit. So I've been waiting until we
Confused.
could see them,
I'm confused. He said nobody sees what?
the audits, copies of the audits.
Oh, the draft.
The draft copy,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But our actual true to form submitted audits, yes, we have copies in the office. Yeah.
And where can I get a copy of the current public safety building design?
Well, I think those two just took off.
He's standing right out there.
Oh, that, yeah,
Wait.
Vicky.
I don't think there is a design.
No, because
Are we
actually,
about 2 years?
I want to be rude, yep, we changed our program so that testing.
oh, nice.
You got questions, sir?
Yes, sir.
Where can I get the current public safety building design?
It's the same one, we haven't got that far yet.
So, but that's not the one we're going to use?
No, that is what I keep telling you, it's a concept drawing. This is what we like, but we're working on it now, it's gonna be small. So we don't have a
We,
updated
So
site.
you're not gonna get a conceptual, building design until we make the decision on if we're gonna go with design build,
Right.
who the architect,
We're in that
company.
phase right now, just
We
working.
need to get somebody that's gonna, we need to have the architect and engineering firm first. Then, due to cost, they will present us, we can give you this for X amount of dollars. And it's design bill, I'm pretty sure that's the direction.
But thinking about that design build as well as.
Yeah, it wasn't
We're
still on the fence.
Still not sure.
Yeah, still on the fence. Because Jewett sent out that last.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Are
Sure,
we,
kinda
are
changed
we
it.
about 2 years from when we got the grant authorization?
This grant is not timed.
No, I'm asking, we were granted this grant 2 years ago?
I thought it just hit the spring.
Year. It was April last year.
Yeah, we weren't awarded, we were told, yeah, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
And then, what was it, November last year is when they, yeah, you're good, you have it. Yeah.
And we don't, and it wasn't part of the grant deal that we go by, the design that we got the grant got from?
And,
There's no design.
Well, that's what we gave.
No, we gave them a design.
We gave the design, but the design.
It's conceptual.
Conceptual drawing, it's not what.
Yeah, it's conceptual.
We have to give them something.
Yeah.
I've already talked to them, and they know the budget, the way it's going, the prices are increasing, you know, the building is going to be small. And the architects will put something together, and we can afford what we got, not that's how we're gonna build. We're not going after any more, we're just gonna build what we can, with what the money we got.
it was my understanding with the application process for that grant, it was conceptual. Tell us what you want, and how much you think. Right, and it was tailored to whatever the award was. I don't know who done it.
And, kind of in, as part of that, I know you guys did a job description for a firefighter. Is that on the website? 'Cause I can't find it.
None of the job descriptions are on the website.
Usually a job description means someone's gonna get paid, so.
Say that again?
Usually a job description means somebody's going to get paid, so I just wanted to see what the job description was.
All employees get paid.
Exactly.
Right.
I just wanted to.
And I got the job descriptions.
Right.
It's volunteer.
Yeah. I just wanted to see what the job description said.
It's a slippery slope. Let me ask the question of the town's attorney first. If the direction goes that they are public, then so be it.
We're not able to see the job description.
Well, the problem we have with job descriptions is then Joe taxpayer reads it, and then they think they have the authority to go out and tell our fire chief, well, it doesn't, it says this in your job description. You have to do this. Same thing with public works, it could
Well, that's not really why I wanted to see it. My reasoning is
that-
that when, let me tell you the reason why I asked is because if you remember originally, when they said they wanted to have a municipal fire department ordinance, and we voted it down, there were a lot of things in there that led me to believe that we would have paid firefighters. And now we have a municipal fire department, and now we have a firefighter job description, which is leading me more and more to believe that we're going to have paid firefighters. And
Okay, I'd like to just.
It's getting more and more concerning to me.
Well, I just want to put out there to everybody that we have had paid firefighters. Okay.
These are stipends. I'm talking about a difference between stipends.
It doesn't
and
matter, regardless of the payment. The town has been paying all the firefighters. We can at least.
Ricky, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. There's a difference between a stipend and a paid firefighter that gets paid thousands of dollars per firefighter that gets paid thousands of dollars a year.
I don't understand.
We're talking about
I think
a
what she's getting at, you
public
think
safety
we're gonna pay,
building
you're gonna pay
that
these
we've had a
people
grant
by
approval
pay
for quite
stays the
some
same.
time now, that we don't even have a shovel in the ground, that we don't even have a design for. That's getting kind of concerning as to how much this is going to cost us.
$3.8
Now we're
million.
getting job descriptions for firefighters that we can't see. I heard last meeting, you were asking for personnel records, which I believe is part of the municipal fire department ordinance, because you are the overseers of the fire department, if I'm correct, according to the ordinance. And I'm trying to piece all this together as to what the future of Brownfield is going to look like and how expensive this is going to get for us.
Well, the job description does not change.
Every committee are fantastic, and please don't take this personally. Every committee gives you a fantastic overview of what their meetings are. They're fantastic, but please don't take this personally. But you get maybe a 1 or 2 sentence of what the public safety building meetings are. And I have no clue where we are, where we stand, what's going on, and to know that we still don't have a design is concerning. And we're sitting on $1 million.
Why are we sitting on that?
I don't think so,
But we've gotten another grant. And
For
we're
what?
moving on
For
it
what?
for the community center.
Whoa. Hold up. Alright. The public safety building, the taxpayers are gonna have to be patient, okay? $3.898 million, that's a hell of a process, okay? We can't move at light speed. You asked the price of the public safety building, $3.898 million. Cut and dry.
I know that price, yeah.
As far as, you wanna know what it looks like and what the accoutrements are gonna be and.
I don't care about the accoutrement, I want a design.
Well, but that's
A
just it,
basic
if you do a
design.
design build, and with the prices changing on just the building materials daily, how do you expect us, or the committee, to provide you with, when we're looking at a design build, and the committee is, they have talked to, what, 13 companies?
I think it's 14 now with Jewett.
That they've taken the time to interview, speak with, get the information from them. Until we can make the decision on, all right, this company here is the best bang for our buck. The interview process has been since last year. We can't put a shovel in the dirt down there until after October 1st. And I wish Susie Elam was in here because she's the one who looked it up. Because of the bats, environmental stuff. Yep. So there are processes that we have to follow before we can do anything with it.
See, because what I'm saying, Richie, is that the committees that come before us, they give great notes as to what's being discussed in those meetings. I would have known that had there been notes.
And what, the minutes have been put on the website.
If they have,
So
I can't
I'll
find them.
speak. There's probably as of little recently, I think I'm missing a few. And that is me, 100%. I did a class in
You put one
Catskill
there, don't
3
you?
days a week,
If I can.
and that took up most of my time.
I
In addition to a
know.
full-time job.
I understand
Now some
that.
are busy. So as of recently, my notes, I don't even know when the last is that's been posted. It's been not the greatest. Unfortunately, a lot of the discussions is just a lot of back and forthing. And unless I'm writing every word, there's not a lot that usually makes decisions. I try to record decisions that happen, or notable things. If we're talking about what a brick costs, I just don't see the point of writing that
Well,
down.
I don't see a point in that either. What I'm trying to state is, you just gave me more information in, 5 minutes? Than I've learned in the past year. Because I do look for notes. I don't think you hear me when I tell you that every day I spend hours looking at the town website, looking at the town Facebook page, looking for information to share with people. Because I do. I want to share that communication. They didn't want me on the communications committee. I reached out, they did not want me on the communications committee.
Excuse me, Cindy.
Yes.
Who did you reach out to? I'm on the committee. I
The lead person did not want me on the committee.
the
So,
chairman or?
but anyway, I
Who's the
won't
lead?
get into that.
No, wait, hold on. Who's the lead person on communications?
Alice?
Alice Fisher.
Not Alice.
Well, Alice is the chair.
Not Alice.
Alice,
Not
you
Alice.
said,
Not
Alice is the chair.
Alice is the one that always
I'm
reaches
not
out to
gonna
me.
get into, I'm not gonna get into that. The person that originally was going to speak on it though,
No, hang on.
the lead person has changed since then. I'm not gonna get into name calling, I'm just saying, I answered
It's
the
not that.
question. I answered the question.
Hang on,
My point is,
just a
if
second.
committee
Hold on.
meetings weren't filmed,
Hold on just a second. I want to address that.
you want.
This is a selectmen's meeting, so please,
Can I please finish
please,
my sentence?
wait just 1 second. Did you reach out to the chair of that committee?
Prior
And you would,
to
no,
the committee.
this is a yes or no question. Did you reach out to the chair of the communications committee and when you were denied access to be on that committee? Yes or no?
That is not a yes or no question.
Did you reach out to the chair of the committee and be denied to be a member of that committee? That is a yes or no
Has the
question.
chair
There is not a, no. Alice Fitzgerald was chair right immediately.
Present to you, I reached out to.
So
That
Alice,
person-
the chairman did not deny you, correct?
The person.
Did the chairman deny you?
I am not going to be belittled by you.
I'm not
Ricky.
trying to belittle anybody. I just need an answer because
because
the select board cannot take care of these committees, or if there's something like that that's happening in a committee, we need to know about it because they're supposed to be doing that.
I am going to answer your question if you allow me. Why would I want to be part of a committee when the initial discussion is going to be brought up and I ask the person 3 times about the topic and they refuse to talk to me? Why do I want to be part of a committee like that when I know that I'm not going to be accepted?
The committees are select board appointed. Okay? So, no ma'am, the committees are select board appointed. They always have been. We ask for volunteers. You give me your name, perfect. You get a.
And I'm gonna sit on a board knowing that there are people on that board that don't want me there.
Look at us. No shit. Prime example.
Very true.
That's like,
You know? But yet we show up every week.
Yep, and this is why I don't. I have one more question for you.
I wish the phone didn't die.
Yeah, right. And on the left and stuff. One more question for you. For your communication solution that I've been asking for, can stem right back to recording your meetings. And that is, I know that, I think Patty, you had borrowed an owl from the Denmark. That worked really well. And I think
It
that if you
actually
had
did.
better internet, that would work fabulous. Because the audio and the video work really well when you use that. It just needed a little bit better boost on the internet. And I'm just wondering if you're going to implement that. Because
So can I-
communication starts
Please.
there.
Okay, so the person that helped me when I was planning board secretary up there came down and helped me get it set up down here. When I was troubleshooting it, he also told me a big part of it is that there's no carpet in here. Yes, I would agree that maybe the internet too, right? But there's not a buffer. And so when nobody was in here and I would walk around, it even had a hard time following me. At the community center, it was following motion more than it was following speech. So it is, back then when I was looking at it, $1,000. It is now $2,000 now. And if it's not gonna, that's a lot of money.
Is
So
there
hopefully
another
this.
solution that we can look into?
We've been asking. The audio is the biggest problem, folks. The video, that's a piece of cake. We could actually get a one eye hanging off to suspend it and Bluetooth it. It's the audio that we're having the problem with. And getting people that know how to do audio.
Well, I did
to
give
give
you
us-
a few suggestions.
And we've reached out to 3 of them.
Yeah,
On the low end was 15.3.
yeah.
So,
Well, that's half the price of a sign. Ha ha
right. But, agreed.
ha. I'm sorry, I had to throw it out there.
Well, that's fine.
It's all right, I throw it out there.
15.3 but the audio is the problem we have. Now, what about the consolidated fiber? That's got a whole different platform that we can use. We have been, North Ledge, we contacted those guys, trying to find a comparable way to do the audio and the video so that we can share the wealth. It's not falling on deaf ears. It's just,
Well,
we could spend $15,000, yep, 30 on the sign, 29 actually. And, or we can spend 15 grand on super nice equipment and not have bandwidth. It doesn't work anyway, and then we hear the bitch name. Well, I can't understand you. Folks,
Well, I'm just saying that we're talking about communication being the number one plank. And
Agreed.
that's where it starts. And I highly recommend that you record every meeting, every committee, because that way the information gets out and it's firsthand. It's not word of mouth as to this is what was said during the meeting, this is what was said at the committee. It comes straight from there. And you can direct them back to there. You can say, no, that's not what was said. This is where you get your information from.
Which goes back to the concerns that we had earlier when we were talking about the referendum vote and people being educated by their neighbors.
educated by what?
Hey neighbors.
Anything else, Ben?
No, I think that's.
Anybody else? One last time? Last chance. Make a motion, we adjourn.
Good.
Thank you, folks.